Well, greetings, 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 everyone. We're so happy to be here this morning, and we thank you as you enter into this room that you took the time out to be here. My name is Leslie Montgomery, and I am LKM Kingdom Living, Leslie's Lessons Learned. Yes, I've been learning a lot of lessons doing these shows, and it has helped me a lot. And I'm just so happy to not be here by myself. To have my girl Wanda, Minister Wanda, on with me, and I just appreciate her so much. She's got a lot going on. She's just fabulous. She doesn't even have to be here, and I appreciate her so much, being here. So Wanda, take a moment and introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Wanda Floyd. I am a licensed hair care professional, educator, instructor, trainer. I have been licensed for 31 years and I'm actually making a shift in my career. So I'm excited about that. I am a mother. I do some things in ministry. I am an author of a book and I have a lot of things going on, working on some things for this year, and I'm just so excited to be here. So thank you for having me, Miss Leslie.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm looking in the camera, and as I put my mirror up, I want y'all to notice something. As I look in the mirror, I say, I got a roller in my hair. Y'all see this roller in my hair? I got a roller in my hair. So, okay, so now when I look in the mirror,
I didn't even notice.
yeah, I was having some issues this morning, but I keep trying to be a stylist, but I haven't succeeded at that yet. But good morning, everyone. As I look in the mirror, I see an image that I could never imagine being created. If I had in my feeble mind think about how the Father would create me, it probably would be different than this. But I'm glad that when I look in the mirror, I see the beauty of what He created. And I'm pleased with it. I can always look at something and say, I can change that. But I want to talk to those that look in the mirror and say, is life worth living? You might not have even gotten out the bed yet this morning, but that's your question because of things that you're going through. I want you to know today that life is worth living. And I want you to get out that bed and I want you to live. I want you to live. One of the things that I say is if you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. And if you are at peace, that means you're not sitting on the side of the bed saying, is life worth living? But you're getting up and you're about your Father's business. It says that you're in the present, right where you are, that you have peace. So if you don't have peace this morning, I want to encourage you to just go out. Look, you don't even have to go out. Look around your room and see how blessed you are. Go go outside and see. I think about this all the time, how the trees is always lifted up. The flowers grow from the ground up. Everything is always exalting Yahweh, and the way He created it, and He created it to give. He said, you know, we talk about breath, but the trees, they have oxygen. There's so many things that He created, and I just think that it amazes me how intentional He is. That He was intentional enough to say, Wanda, Leslie, Yolanda, Cheryl, um, Jackie, Frida, Michelle, I'm creating you. And even though you don't realize it, that before you came to being, even Ashley, I see you out there, Ash, you know, I already had the thought of how I wanted you to look. You were already in my plans. Hallelujah. He didn't just make us and sit us here and leave us here. He figured out and he put everything in place first. And then he made us. Did he not do that with Adam? Did he not put everything in place before he put Adam here? Well, that's the same thing he does with us. So don't ask him, why'd he bring you here? Ask him, what does he want you to do while you're here? What is it that's in his plan for your life that you have not succeeded in doing yet? What is that purpose? And every purpose has a destiny. It has somewhere to go. You just don't have a purpose. You got to get that purpose to its place. And I want you to know, if you have not done that yet, and if you had done and you was completed, you wouldn't be here listening to me now, because he would have taken you out of here. He would say, oh, your time is up. But he did not say your time is up. So I want you to know that you still have work to do. And I want you to know that it's important that you understand that you are needed. I don't care what has happened to you. I don't care what people have said to you. I want you to know that you are important. So when you look in the mirror, remember, what you see might not be what it really is. Sometimes we look in the mirror and we see other than what the Father wants us to see. We can see some things, and we can see some negative things about ourselves. But I want you to be encouraged and understand that you got more in life to live for than what you see that's right in front of your face. Stop living right there in front of your face. In front of your face, a lot of times it brings up negativity. You don't see, or you don't think, because what you think is what you see. There was a saying, somebody said, I don't believe what my eyes tell me because my eyes lie. Somebody said that. And I was like, yeah, we can kind of say that. So when you look in the mirror, ask the Father, say, Yahweh, show me what you see. Let me see what you see, that I can be a better person than what I am right now. Because I promise you that if you're in a state of negativity, there's more that you need to see than where you are in that place. So get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get out that bed, enjoy the day, go out, smell the flowers, smell the just the air, just to breathe the breath of God into your life, and know without a shadow of a doubt that Elohim has given it to you as a gift. So can we say our statement? A life without me is like a world without colors. Can we say that again? A life without me is like a world without colors. So I want you to know today how important it is that for you to be here. And if you feel like nobody cares, somebody cares. It's just that the enemy, not the enemy, the enemy is letting you think that you're all alone and nobody cares. That is a lie, as they used to say, and they probably do still say it, from the pit of hell. And I want you to know today, life is worth living. So, Minister Wanda, I have a clip. I like to do clips, and I'm going to show this clip. Good morning, Pasha. Good morning, all of you, Pastor Jackie and C. Alfreda and Elder Rogers and Pastor Yolanda, to all of you, Ashley and Michelle, thank you, thank you, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and to hear what we're going to talk about. And today, let me pull up this clip.
Have to like you. People don't have to love you. People don't even have to respect you. But when you look in the mirror, you better love what you see. If it is meant for you, it will not miss you. Realize that you have a voice, and if you don't use it, you will lose it. Live your life like you really matter. Live your life like you're happy to be alive, because there is an alternative. Wow, I'm good. Oh my goodness. If you are given the honor and the gift of growing older, accept it with grace, because not everybody gets it. Oh, that is the truth, honey. It's so wonderful to know as a grown woman, everything is still possible. Give yourself some credit and relax. People don't have to like you.
Yes, and that's kind of where I want to go today. People don't have to like us. And guess what? Quiet as a cat, most of them don't. A lot of them don't.
Right.
But and that shouldn't make a difference in you and who you are. And so long that has stagnated so many of us because of what people say about us or what we heard somebody say. And it causes us not to be us. It causes us to not want to adventure out in who we are because we think about what they're saying or what they think about us. And because they think a certain way, and because we're emotional, we get caught up in that. Hey, Charmaine, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. But today, I just want to talk a little bit about that. I was praying and trying to figure out what way to actually go with that. As far as people don't have to like you, but it doesn't change who you are unless you allow it. If you allow it to change you, it can change you. People will, oh, look, all thing people have to do is hear one negative thing about you, and they're going to run with it. And they're going to tell everybody. Why? Because they feel like they got something on you, or they feel like that sometimes people like saying, "I knew they wasn't like who they try to portray to be." Oh, we're who we say we are. We are who we say we are. You might not like it, and yes, we make mistakes, and yes, we have done things wrong, but it does not change who we are. Only thing that can change who we are is we ourselves. And Yahweh, He'll tell us to change some things. But on the whole, who He created you to be, look, love it, embrace it, and be all that you can be in that space. Um, oh, I thank you, Pasha. She said we're looking beautiful today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So when you think about that, Minister Wanda, I know you can, you know, if we think about our own personal lives,
Hmm. This whole idea of the need for people to like us is has overtaken a lot of our lives. You know, uh, trying to prove ourselves, trying to be what everyone wants us to be, trying to meet the expectations of others, whether it's in their personal lives or on our jobs or our family. Because if I don't meet those expectations, if I don't do everything that everybody wants me to do, if I don't help everybody, if I can't be there for everybody when they need me to be there, that one time that I can't be there, or that one time I can't show up, or that one time I'm not able to aid and assist, or that one time that
one
I
time.
did not answer the phone, that one time I did not make it to the event, that one time we feel like if I don't, they aren't going to like me. So we base our lives upon the idea that we want everyone to like us.
Yes.
And why is that necessary? Because we feel like we need people, whether we admit it or not. Some at times we have issues with people not liking us.
Oh,
But you
yeah.
know who it is? It's not those that we don't care anything about, because we've had all have instances or situations where this individual just didn't like you. And because you had no personal stock in that, because It wasn't someone that you cared about. It wasn't someone that you had developed a relationship with. It wasn't someone that was in your circle per se. They don't like me. I don't care. That doesn't bother you as much. You might question it. I just don't get why this person doesn't like me. You know, um, unless that person that perhaps doesn't like you is causing you issues. But if you're a part of a group and let me just put me, if one chick don't like you, you like, well, whatever, okay. But let it be somebody that's important to you. Let it be someone that you feel should care about you or like you. And man, it kind of rocks our whole world. And we just it shakes our very being at times, trying to understand, trying to comprehend why that individual doesn't like us. And then we go to the extent of doing extra to make sure to try to make
Yeah.
us. And I think we've got to sit back and question today, why is someone liking us so important? Because the person that is most important, do we ever question if Yahweh likes us? Is he liking me right now?
Sometimes people do. Some people will not come to him because they think he doesn't like them.
Doesn't like him or he doesn't love us. But sometimes I think about our actions. And when I said that, I was thinking about our actions and, according to his will for our lives, why aren't we concerned about him liking us?
Right.
Why aren't we concerned about that? Because we feel like he's an ever loving God. And, he always loves us. But I got proof in the writ that because of their actions, he wasn't liking them too much.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, you're
Yeah.
stiff necked, your hard heart. I need you to circumcise your heart because I don't like y'all right now. Matter
That's
of
right.
fact, I'm gonna wipe all of y'all out. How about that?
Mhm.
I'm just wipe all of y'all out. Sometimes how we conduct our lives, we should wonder, is he liking me right now?
Mm.
If I'm bitter, if I'm angry, if I'm not treating everybody the way I should, if I'm not doing what he put me in this earth to do, because you talked about purpose, how does he feel about that? Is he liking the person that he created right now? Oh, I know he loves us. He does. He loves us. But why aren't we concerned about him liking us? We want everybody else. You come around, everybody here should be liking me because I'm likable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm amazing. I'm likable. Everybody should be in liking me. Why you don't like me? Why that one don't like me? Or I've done everything for her. I don't know why she won't like me or why he won't like me. Something to think about.
Hmm. Yeah. When I think about that, I remember this girl in junior high school did not like me. I saw her when we was grown. She still did not like me, hated me. And I never could figure out what it was. It, not that it stopped my life or anything, but I'm like, we grown, aren't we past all that? But just to think that some people just don't like you. So because they just don't like you, does it stop your world? It shouldn't, but a lot of times it does.
Yeah. Not everybody's going to like you. Sometimes your very air
That's
about
it.
you,
That's it.
the fact that it's you, the fact that you do things the way you do, you speak the way you speak, you walk into the room the way you walk into the room, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, the way you wear your hair, all of that, they just don't like it. Just irritates them. And
And they don't know why.
they don't even know why they don't like you. If you would ask, they couldn't even put their finger on it. And we've heard those conversations. Why don't you like? I don't know, but I just don't
Something
like
about
her.
them. Something about
I
'em.
don't like her. It's just something about her. Well, what's the something about her? I don't know, but it's just something. No, that's you, baby.
Yeah.
That's a
And
proclivity that you have. That's an
yeah,
idiosyncrasy that you have.
that's right. Yeah. I'm thinking about that because there's somebody right now that just irritates me. And it seemed like they purposely do things without purposely knowing that they do things. So what I had to do was go to the Father and say, Father, what is it in me that you're trying to work out? Because I don't want to be like this, you know. I do not want to feel like this, you know, because first thing we have to understand is who you are is who you are. So what do I mean by that? That person is who they are. And the things that they do are the things that they do because of who they are. I cannot allow who they are to dictate to me how I'm going to feel, my emotions, or how I'm going to respond to them. And, you know, and sometimes you can go to people and talk to them and they still won't change. They still won't treat you differently. They still going to do those same things that they're doing because why? That's who they are. And we have to begin to see people or begin to um, allow people to be who they are. Now, do we set up boundaries?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
That's the part, you know, and uh, I like what you said there. The person just irritates you. And so, you know, you took that to Yahweh. You took it to him to say, okay, what is it in me? That's the issue here. That's the first part. What is it in me that is being bothered by this? And then the other part is, okay, is there something in them that I should know? Is Are you trying to show
Oh,
me
yeah,
something?
there's definitely something in them.
Are you trying to show me something? Okay, so now how do I navigate this? So if he's shown you, how do I navigate this? And you take that to the Father too as well. Once he shows you, you take that to the Father, because you know there's also this thing that I don't want us to get confused, because some of us do discern some things in
Right.
people, you know, and something's there. Something is there, and that too you must take to the Father and say, okay, what is this? What is this that I'm discerning? And take it to Him. When He tells you, then you leave that there. You don't
Right.
allow it, like you said, we don't allow it to affect our lives, because we don't want to be the person that is not liking someone.
So
You
let
know.
me ask you this question.
Mhm.
Where does the love factor come in that? You got to love them. Not saying you don't have boundaries, not saying that, but still, that love that Yahweh wants us to have for each other.
Mhm.
Think about it. Let me say that first of all, Yahweh's on a whole nother level with love.
Absolutely.
You know, he created us. He already knew how we were, and he
Mhm.
loves us the way we are. But when you're in ministry, let me say ministry, and you deal with all types of people, and when those people are always in your face, where's the love factor at?
uh, Someone said something to me one time, and it has stuck with me, and it had a real effect on my life. And she said to me, "Wanda, treat everybody like it's a soul.
That's right.
It's a soul that can be won through salvation." That's where that love factor comes in. If you use that as you're balancing, that will help you deal with people. That will help us. And sometimes it ain't easy because people will rub you the wrong way because they're dealing with their own things. But you got to take a deep breath. And we've learned to give Yahweh thanks in all things, right? So first we stop and take a deep breath and give Yahweh thanks in all things, and then realize, okay, this person is a soul. Because especially if I'm supposed to be walking this out, we're not running around saying WWJD and I'm blessed and highly favored when someone says
What
hello.
would Jesus do?
They say hello, I'm blessed and highly favored, and we got the bumper stickers and it's on the keychain, and everybody know you saved, and all of that. That's advertising. We don't need to do that. How we do this is that we walk this out. And so when we're dealing with these people, and I'm talking to myself, when we're dealing with these people, you have to deal with them as they're a soul,
That's right.
because how you handle them is important.
That's right.
How you handle them is important. Now, I cannot lie. Sometimes people will take you there. But once they take you there, you're going to feel bad
Yeah.
that you allowed them to take you there. And now, did I miss the opportunity to make an impression in their lives? Did I just miss that?
You're right. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's where the love factor comes in. If I look at everybody, if I try to stop and remember this person is a soul, you might have to keep repeating it. This person is a soul. Father, this person is a soul. This person is a soul. It will help you navigate through these issues with these people.
I think one of the things that I think about is also there's good in everybody. I mean, some people you like, no, it ain't, no, it ain't. But there's an inch, and if we learn to see that and begin to uh, operate from that, what we see, the glimpse of something, it's no different than a child. A child, some children they're like, "Ooh, that child's so bad," and you're like, "Mm-mm, there's something in that child." And you begin to mentor that child from that aspect, and then you see that child blossom differently. That's the same thing with adult friendships. And I'm saying friendships. It don't have to be a friend, but I'm just saying friendship. We have to begin to see the good in that person and begin to handle them from that aspect. Yes, you might have to continue to say, I know, Yahweh, I'm really trying. You might have to say, help me through this.
Mhm.
But after a while, he'll begin to change you,
Mhm.
your heart towards that person. I've had people that said, man, I prayed and asked God to make you my friend. And I'm like, for what? you know, and he did it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking back now at some of those relationships. And those relationships were not healthy. I wasn't trying to be their friend. And I don't know why I'm going here. I'm going left now. I
That's
wasn't
scary.
trying.
Yeah, that's good. That's scary.
I wasn't trying to be their friend. I was nice and I was kind and caring, but I wasn't trying to be their friend. I was just, loving them from the aspect of Elohim. And sometimes people will come into your life because they see something in you and they gravitate to what they see. That does not mean that you're supposed to have a full blown relationship with them.
Come on. You got to watch the people that try to impose themselves on you.
Yeah.
I know I'm an introvert, and so uh, when somebody is just trying to push themselves in my life, they're just trying to make themselves my friend. My red flags fly up, and then I go in fetal position because it's like, what do you want? What what do you want? Why are you trying to be my friend? And it's not that I'm not friendly, but you're sending up signals. What is it that you need to impose yourself on me. And like you said, when you allow it, because I have, it has turned out to be draining. Um, it has not ended well at all. Each time that I've done that, and it's been like two specific times, a person has imposed themselves on me and I allowed it, and it did not end well. And it usually ends with them thinking that I've done something to them that I haven't, because your motives weren't right when you came in. And like you said, they see something.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever it is that they see, they came to get that from you, to
Right.
extract that from you. Whatever it might be, you might have a good heart. With me, I'm very giving and have a good heart. And people tend to play on that. And um, you got to watch that when people impose themselves on you. I want you to be my friend. And they start calling you sister and all of that stuff. Girl, I just met you. Why are you calling me sis? Yeah, you got to watch that.
Yeah. I know this is probably not a topic everybody want to hear today, but I think that in order for us to understand who we are, we have to and talk about some of these things. One of the things I know that for people, a lot of times people have been hurt so much and they're trying to find someone, or they're trying to always fit in, or they're trying to always make somebody like them because they feel like nobody has ever liked them. So those type of people a lot of times don't know how to be friends because they don't have friends. So we have to learn from that aspect how to deal, what level to deal on. Discernment is very key, because when someone comes into our lives, we do have to understand. There's two things now. You got to understand what they're coming for, and you got to listen to what they're saying, because they'll tell you what they want if you're really listening. There's some people that say, "I never had a friend." Why? Is it because of you and how you respond? Or is it just something that has never been? Sometimes we can say something so long till we believe it. Nobody likes me. I never had a friend. People don't gravitate to me. We can say all those things and they become a part of us. So what do we do with those type of things? We have to evaluate ourselves. We have to bring ourselves into a position where we understand that, you know, we might not be all that in a bag of chips to somebody,
Right,
but it doesn't mean that you're not that. It
right,
just means that you don't that person doesn't see you that way.
right.
The other person might think they the ones that's a bag of chips.
And they should, right?
you know. And if we really begin to search that and search where we are with our friendships, one of the things that just keeps coming to mind is ministry. Ministry, we have to be so careful, because people that usually come are broken. People that usually come has been neglected, they have been rejected, and they gravitate to you because they see something in you. So does that mean you turn them away? Not all the time. That means, but does that mean you go full force? And no, you got to handle it with a cloth glove. You got to be careful with you. You have to be careful. I know the topic is how do you see yourself? How we see ourselves plays a lot with who we allow in our lives.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm, mhm,
if we don't see ourselves positively, the people that's in our circle are going to be people that are not positive.
mhm.
If we don't see ourselves as somebody somebody educated, somebody that right there was one of the things that always used to get me. I would never think that I was smart enough or educated enough to be around smart people. And I would always draw back. It would always make me intimidated. And even though I would try to stay there, it's like, nope, I got to get out. It's almost like I got to run, because I felt like if I open my mouth and I say the wrong thing, then they're not going to want to be around me. They're not going to like me.
And what will happen is because you feel that way, then you can start to draw people who will play on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right. People size you up. Yes.
And they will add to the insecurities that you already have.
Right.
You know, for example, I was the same way. I used to feel that I wasn't intelligent enough. I couldn't be around a group of women because they were all so highly educated and they spoke well, very articulate, spoke eloquently, and I could not be around them. And, uh, you know, Yahweh has a way of showing you who you really are. Lately, I've been having a lot of my older Facebook posts pop up. They're your memories, right? And I've had a lot of my posts pop up from 2019, 2018. And when I tell you these things are well written, I had to read it and look at it and say, girl,
Who wrote this? That's me.
you wrote that? Girl, that's good. But because I was insecure about who I was, I got away from writing and speaking as articulately as I wanted to and knew that I could because I gave in to the thought process that I had about myself that wasn't even true, right? I know it's not true because Yahweh has shown me the evidence that I'm an excellent writer. I've written for magazines. I've written for magazines. I've written for magazines that were international. I've written forwards in books. So why would I think that I'm not intelligent or articulate or not gifted enough to do these things?
Right. Mm-hmm.
When it's in you, it's evident, it's right there, but we will talk ourselves out of who we are. So you're absolutely right. It's important how you see yourself because however you see yourself, that is exactly what you're going to attract.
That's right.
Exactly what you're going to attract.
Oh, and what do we say? I don't know why I keep getting this same type of person around me.
So now you got to check you. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on with you?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't have no friends, nobody like me, blah, blah, blah. So then you're going to attract people that are going to act like they like you to take advantage of you to get whatever you have because you're going to do whatever you can to try to keep these people around you because you feel like you need to have some friends.
You need to
And
have
so
something.
those are the type of people you're going to attract takers. You aren't going to attract people that are going to add to your life and make you a better person. You're going to attract exactly how you feel about yourself.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't succeed because of that, because they attract the negative people. And a lot of times those people, they just want to hang out. They're not trying to advance themselves. They're not trying to do anything positive. They just come over and hang out and that's what you feel comfortable with because you think that you can't do any better. You think that that's all that you can do or be. And I think that even in ministry, I don't know why I keep going back to ministry, but I want to talk about us that are in ministry and how sometimes that can affect the way we operate in ministry. If we're not secure, if we're not in a place that we know we're positive or we have we're confident in who we are, how we portray or pour out in ministry, it will show up.
Unpack that a little bit more.
If you are a negative person and you're operating in ministry, that negativity is going to come out somehow. If you are a person that doesn't see yourself as somebody, my husband could preach the chandeliers down, but his confidence in himself was not there. The things that he went through in his life kept showing up: abuse, meanness, negativity. And as nice as you think you are to people, it's going to bleed out somewhere. And it's important that we understand that, and I'm not saying it could be anything. When I mean anything, if you grew up abusive, or not abused, but being abused, and that's not dealt with, the way you respond to people is going to be in fear. It's going to show up. We have to deal with ourselves. Just because you're thrust into ministry, or because somebody said you need to be in ministry, or you ended up in ministry somehow because you went to school and got the degree, and now you're what's it, solidified as a born preacher, and you never deal with yourself. How do you see yourself? Even though you're in ministry, it does not excuse you from dealing with yourself. It does not excuse you from dealing with issues in your life. We cannot say because we're in ministry, it's okay. It's not okay. If Yahweh has allowed you to be in ministry, and ministry, I'm just going to stay right there because, and has allowed you to speak his words, then it behooves you to check yourself and make sure that what he's having you give to others, that it's not bleeding, that it's not oozing out in between the messages, that it's not oozing out in between your lifestyle, and what you're seeing in the lifestyle is not what is adding up to what your words are saying. We have to be careful. I've seen too many incidents where people were in ministry and never dealt with themselves. My husband preached a message: anointed but not delivered. And he preached it on himself. We can be in aspects of ministry and never be delivered. And guess what? It's going to ooze out. So it's important that if we're going to stand up, and I'm not just saying behind a pulpit, I'm saying social media, I'm saying Zoom call, whatever, women's ministry, men's ministry, whatever, make sure your heart is clear. Do we make mistakes? Yes. Do we do things that we shouldn't do all the time? Yes. But there's an aspect in our lives that we should show up. And when people see us, and we pray it, Father, don't let them see me, let them see you. And it's an honest prayer. But at the same time, we have to make sure that we're working on ourselves, that those areas that keep creeping up, that we work on it and make sure that we're balanced. We got to have a balance. We can preach all day long, we can teach all day long. And this is not, I'm talking about when I was in ministry, when I was flying all over the place and I saw people, and I wasn't even all that in place. There was things in my life that I needed to deal with. But because of the arena I was in, and everything was okay, I kind of slipped through the cracks with my ministry and teaching and preaching and uh, praying and all these things, and still walking around hurt, still walk around insecure, still walking around devastated of something that happened when I was young because I never dealt with it. And the arena I was in, you didn't have to deal with it. Just do your work as the woman or man of God. Good
Absolutely.
morning.
Absolutely. That's often what we do. We are, the hardest thing to do sometimes is just sit with yourself.
It is.
Even, and I'm gonna go right back to what you were talking about, but have you ever had a moment in service where it's just silent and quiet because Yahweh is dealing with everybody differently? And it's quiet and you're just basking in whatever he's doing right there. And you find some people that is just hard to just sit there and be quiet. Somebody will start coughing. Somebody will start moving. And then it starts to distract everybody else because we like really trying to just be in that presence, right? It is the same thing when it comes with ministry. It's because we become so busy doing, it stops us from dealing with us. Because as long as I'm busy and as long as I'm doing and as long as I feel that I'm doing the work of the kingdom and these people are getting delivered, these people are getting helped, and the ministry is flourishing. But
Well,
but once the music stops, Daryl Coley had a song, "When the music stops, I got this to live the life that I sing about," right? But when it stops, then you got to deal with you. But most of us, when we have those issues, we don't stop, so we don't have to deal with us. Because once I stop, then the real me shows up and it slaps me dead in my face, and I ain't trying to deal with that. I got to help you. I got to get his people delivered. I got to, they're sick and they need help. They need healing and they need deliverance. And we got to keep going. It's ministry. It's ministry. But on the inside and the outside, you are broken. And I remember I preached a message once where I had on these clothes and this hat and dressed to the nine. And I looked so good bringing the presentation.
oh yeah.
As they started, started getting hot, started peeling off some of the clothes. And I had insecurity, low self-esteem here, and brokenhearted here, and then rejection was on my back, and I had all these different proclivities that we deal with, but nobody knew it because I was covered up, and all you saw was the woman standing here dressed to the nines, speaking and bringing this wonderful message. But on the inside, I was dealing with all of these things that had me broken and bound, and I needed my own deliverance. But I don't need to deal with it if I'm so busy, what we call doing the work of the kingdom. And we're not called to everybody. That's the other thing.
We're not.
We're not. We can't be so busy doing that we don't take care of us, because like you said, it's going to bleed out somehow. It's going to bleed in how you deal with people. Um, it's going to show up in your messages. Have you ever seen someone, a woman, when she speaks and she's talking about marriage and men and all of that, even on the social media pages and all that, is always something negative. Well, you can tell that they've been hurt and they haven't continuously been hurt and haven't dealt with that because they got
They coming out with the slingshot.
they got an issue with men, and it bleeds out
Yeah.
over time. Same thing with men and women. It will bleed out over time. I know an individual right now that, because of his post, I can tell, because it's his mindset that man is to be over woman and we are to do what he says. Almost like, be safe, be barefoot, pregnant, and be in the kitchen, and I'm gonna hit you over the head and drag you by your ponytail type of mentality. Well, underneath all of that,
Barefoot and pregnant.
yeah, barefoot, pregnant, grab you by your ponytail. Follow me. you know, Me man, you woman, follow me. That's the mentality, and that oozes out over his post because I can see, you've been hurt, and you're still single, so you've been hurt, and we can see it
Right.
throughout your post. But you think your post is doing ministry, and you're trying to tell women how they're supposed to be if they want to be a wife, you know, the type of man, the type of woman a man is looking for. No, your point of view is twisted because it's based on your past experiences and the fact that you're still hurt. And
Yes.
how do you see yourself?
You know what? When you think about that, and this is something I really want people in ministry to understand. Do not be afraid to take time out to deal with you. You're not going to miss anything. You're going to help yourself and help others because you no longer will bleed out on them. Will you have your own issues? Yes, we will have issues. We will have things that we have to go through. But please do not be out here ministering and you never dealt with yourself. It is so important. A lot of times we use that as a blanket, preaching, ministering. We use it as a blanket. And when we use it as a blanket, then we think that we're all covered. And it's almost like Adam and Eve put fig leaves on. Why? They didn't want the shame to be seen. We cannot minister with shame. We cannot minister with guilt. We have to deal with it. I think one of the best things that has happened is the when they shut everything down, the
Oh,
COVID,
yeah, the pandemic.
the pandemic has made a lot of people face themselves.
Mhm.
I'm sorry that it took a pandemic to make us realize what apostles say we do way too much.
Yeah, face themselves, spend time with their spouses, and all that. A lot of people found out some things
They found out some
in
things.
that pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't want to have to go back through that to find out some things. He's always talking to us. He's always wanting us to do different, be different. But it's what we do with what he's telling us, is what we do with what he's showing us. Don't be ashamed when he shows you yourself,
Mhm.
that you're so ashamed that you can't deal with it. A
And don't
mature,
brush over it either. Don't brush over it. Don't ignore it. He's showing you. He's showing you because he wants to deal with it and he wants to help you through it. Because that's
yeah.
the other thing we'll do.
Hmm.
We'll be ashamed, but we'll brush over it and ignore it, and it still has us out here doing when we need help ourselves. So you
Right.
got to acknowledge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that takes a big person to say, okay, I'm gonna shut down and I'm gonna take care of me.
Mm-hmm. That's the maturity Ashley was talking about.
It take yeah,
Maturity.
mature it is.
Yes.
And if we think about it, you know, I was going to say something else to the effect of it, but we do have to deal with it. It's like this. I don't know if you ever heard people say that they don't sit with the Father, they don't sit with Elohim because they got afraid what was happening, the shift that was taking place.
Hmm.
And there's people out there that'll say that, oh no, I felt a warmth, or I felt this. I'm not doing that anymore. It's the same thing with ministry. When you feel that shift, when you feel that tug, when you feel that pull, somebody's knocking at your door. And it's just like when they're not, and when the father's knocking at your door and you looking around the corner to see who's at the window, but you don't want to open that door. And he's like, I'm at the door knocking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to bum rush you. He's not going to kick the door in, but he's going to knock. And he'll knock, and it's up to you to answer. So it's the same thing. He is knocking at our doors only because he wants the kingdom to come through correctly. We say we're kingdom citizens. We say that we're believers. We say that we saved. We say these things, but do we give it a chance to mature? And the word I want to use, do we give it a chance to give us the work over? Do we give it a chance to allow it to get out all that gook and all that stuff that the decay and all that stuff that we've been holding on to because we're afraid to let it go because we don't know what's going to happen when we let it go. Oh, but when you let it go, um, did we talk about this? I think yesterday we was talking about this. I don't know where I was about allowing Elohim to be Elohim. When you let go and you let him be Elohim, what happens and what takes place? What happens is he lovingly he lovingly began to change you. His love begins to take precedence over all that stuff because you said, you know why? You said, I'm tired. I can't do this no more. And he's like, that's what I've been waiting on. I've been right here. And he tells us, I never left you, forsake you. I've been waiting on you to come to that place where you say, tag, you're it.
Yeah. Mhm. I remember that moment in my life. 'Cause I was like, I'm sick of me. So that's what I told him. I was like, I'm sick of me. So I know you sick of me. If I'm sick of me, I know you sick of me. And I really need you. I really need you. Uh, but had I ignored the door and be like, I can't deal with that right now. I'm doing ministry. I'm doing what you called me to do. I don't have time to answer the door right now. I'll be back to you because I'm doing ministry. You told me to do this, right? And so
Right.
I got to do ministry. I'm doing ministry. And this is why we start to see pastors committing suicide
Hmm.
because they're taking on, they already have their own that they don't have time to deal with because they're so busy dealing with everybody else's. You know, the ministry is affecting him, it's or her, it's affecting the family and all of that. And they're trying to be everything for everybody, still preaching, still bringing the word, still doing outreach, still going to the hospitals and the nursing homes and taking groceries
Don't forget the prison ministry.
yeah, and prison ministry and then the homeless and
Yeah.
all that. And then in between this, you got this one calling and that one calling, and then this person died. And then I got to get up out of my bed at 3 a.m. to go to the hospital to console the family. And then I got to stay with the family 4 and 5 hours to console them because they falling out all over the floor.
They need
I
me.
don't know what to do because Aunt Ruby died and all of this stuff. And it was my husband. And I get all of that. But in the midst of that, you're so busy that on the end, you're crying out. You yourself are crying out. You're hurting. Because we're so busy doing ministry, we don't have time to allow Yahweh to deal with us, to work on the inside so that what comes out of us will be only him and his word.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, it's important. And that's why for me, and I am not trying to push or promote or make anybody do it, but that's why for me, Sabbath is so beneficial. Literally, I look forward to Sabbath. Folks say they ain't sliding in, they ain't running in. I am. I'm running in, sliding in with a helmet on because I need it. My soul needs it. My spirit needs it. Wanda needs it. Wanda is tired. Wanda is hurting. This week, Wanda might be broken. And I need to dump all of that on the Father. I need to dump all of that in Yahweh's lap and literally climb up in his lap, hug his neck, and be like, I'm here and I need your help because them 6 days wore me out. I'm sick of folk and this happened and that happened. And I need you. Okay. This part that you fixed in my heart, it kind of broke. The stitches broke. I need you to stitch it back again. I need you to put me back in the fire and put me back on the wheel and shake me, add some more water and shake me and mold me, and then put me back in the fire so I can go back out. I need to be re-strengthened. I need to be replenished. I need to be re-healed. I need to be rejuvenated. I need for you to breathe your breath into me so that I can breathe again, because right now I'm depleted. The world has taken everything out of me. And so breathe the flow into me so that I can be strong, so I can be rejuvenated, so I can be whole again. That's why Sabbath is so important for me. But if we are so busy in ministry that we're doing it for everybody else, eventually we will break down because he has not had the time to sit with us.
Yes, and one thing about the Sabbath, and we're at the top of the hour, and this is what I want to kind of end with, is that, and you've said it, it's a personal thing. Your relationship is a personal thing, and if you don't have your relationship together with Yahweh, how can you effectively minister to someone else? And that Sabbath is a personal thing. That's your personal time. He is waiting for you. He is yearning for you. He's excited when you say, I'm here, because he's waiting on you. He says, come away, my beloved. He tells you how to come. He tells you all your burdens, bring them to me, because what I have for you is a whole lot lighter than what you're trying to carry. People are walking around with duffel bags of pain and hurt and disappointment. The duffel bag is full with hatred and anger and revenge and all these different things. And we just carry it around like the military, like those in military. And he's saying, nope, that's not what I'm asking you for. You can't do my work with all that. You got to let it go. So if we can encourage you today to do anything, I didn't know we was going to end up this way, but if we can encourage you today to do anything, we encourage you to get alone, to come into the Sabbath. I promise it's an experience. Yeah, it takes time. You come in and until your mind is right, until you start liking it. And, you come in and first, and most times it's because of obedience. But at some point, That place that you come and meet the Father has to come from the place of obedience to the place of love.
Yeah. You want
And
to.
when love begins to take over, you see things different. You rest different. You have more confidence in what you're doing. And it's so important that we're not caught out here because someone said you got to preach, you need to be preaching, you're a preacher, you got the paperwork, you got the look, you got this. No, don't have none of that until you have Yahweh,
Yeah.
until you have him in it was almost like I got him down on down lock. I got him on lock. And when I
Mhm.
say you got him on lock, it means that he means more to you than the world.
Yeah.
When we're out there preaching and teaching and we don't have him on lock, then we love the world more than we love him.
And it's going to be a shipwreck. I promise you. Eventually, it's going to be a shipwreck.
It is.
And why that time is so important, if we even go back to the garden, he came to visit them at the cool of the day. That's our proof right there that there's a time
Yes.
that he wants to commune with you. He wants to talk with you. He wants to love on you and spend time with them. He came at the cool of the day looking for them. Adam, where you at? Where you at? Huh? See what had happened was, but he came looking for them to sit with them and talk with them and spend time with them. And I promise you, if you want to do ministry, you can do ministry. You'll do ministry on a whole nother level after you come out of
Effectively.
that. Baby, effectively. You talk about revelations, baby, reading your word in Sabbath, it just all types of revelations just come. You talk with him, you can read, you feel his presence as never before. And after spending time in Sabbath, then you go out and do ministry. You'll do ministry on a whole nother level. But give him that time because you need that time with him. Because if you don't, you will just be depleted. Back and
No.
forth, wishy-washy. The
Yeah.
people think you strong. The people think you got it together. The people think you're amazing. They will tell you that's an awesome message. You were wonderful. You did a great job. And then when you get in the car, there's nothing left of you. So take
Or
some.
when you break,
Yeah.
you have a breakdown. Wait a minute. How is that? But the thing about it I like is because the Sabbath was not made for man.
Mhm.
Man was made for the Sabbath. It
Yeah.
was a part of us that he put in place for such a time as this. And the reason why I'm saying such a time as this, because it's for us
Yeah.
right now. And
Yeah.
in Songs of Solomon, I just love it.
I know you do.
But this particular verse, 2 and 13 says because we was talking about the fig tree. The fig tree put forth its figs, and the vines are in bloom. Hallelujah! that they may that they bring forth fragrance. When we get into that place and we're in his presence, there's a sweet smell and fragrance that begins to fill our rooms, fill our hearts, and fill us to bring us a settlement, a peace that comes within us that no man could ever or woman could ever give us. And then it says, arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. Hallelujah. He is calling for
Calling.
us.
Calling.
He is
Calling.
calling for us. And oh God, all right, I gotta go now. Um,
But it's for you.
it's for you.
It's for you. Sabbath wasn't made for
Personal.
man. I mean, we're masters of the Sabbath. It was made for you. He knew you would need that time with him. He give you a whole 6 days to work and do what you need to do. He only want one day.
One day he's saying, I created you. I know what you need. Come.
And you need me. That's what you need. You need me. You need to sit with me so I can put back into you everything that you've given out. You
Just
need,
like a baby.
uh-huh.
A baby, you know what your baby needs. Your
Mhm.
baby cries certain where, oh, he's hungry. Oh, I need to change his diaper. He's acting a certain way. Something ain't right.
He just said a car.
A car
A car can't run on empty.
sure can.
It needs fuel. How far you gonna get if that car is on empty? You ain't gonna get it nowhere unless you get out and push it. So you need that, just like that car needs fuel, like you know what that baby needs, that car needs fuel. You need fuel to go. And not only that, you got to maintenance the car, right? To keep it in working condition. You got to get the oil change. You got to take it in and get a tune up. You got to get tires, and then those tires have to be rotated and all of that. The fluids need to
Balance.
be
Gotta have that balance.
got to balance it, the tires, and rotate them and balance them. Then you got to do an alignment, right? You got to change out those fluids and give new fluids, right? So that that car can run efficiently and effectively and do the job that it's created to do.
Hallelujah.
And so that's what Sabbath is for.
Yes.
So that you can efficiently and effectively do the purpose on earth that you were created to do. How can you do it efficiently, effectively, if you never go in to the service station, to the office to be tuned up, to be realigned, for those fluids to be refreshened and refilled, and for you to put you up on the heist
lift.
under the car and make sure everything is working. There's no holes, and the wires are still connected, and bands are not running out. They're not
Breaking.
rubbing out and breaking and wearing old and tearing and all of that. You will never know that if you never go in to be maintenance. That's what Sabbath is about.
What's one of the main things you need to keep on your car? An oil change, lubrication.
Yep.
Not to be lubricated.
Right? Changing filters out. Because after a while, a filter got so much gunk in it that it's not even doing or working properly or effectively, and then it's affecting the whole car. So it has to be maintenance.
There's a filter I didn't know that cars have. Most people don't know. But a lot of times your car is not running right because the cabin filter has not been changed. That is one of the main filters in your car. And most people don't know that they have that. And it gets clogged. We don't have time to talk about the clog. We got to go. But my daughter Adrian's on. Hey, Age. And she says she loves your bun.
Oh, thank you.
But yes, we're going to close out. We got to get ready for service ourselves. And we appreciate you being here. We hope that something that was said, and it's life period. What we're talking about, it's not just for ministry, it's for life.
Yeah.
Our lifestyle needs to match up with what he created us to be and do. Our lifestyle needs to match up with the kingdom. That's what draws. That's when you become a magnet. When you're not out here being a long ranger, doing it by yourself. But when you realize that the Savior went to the cross on your behalf and died because of love, because he loves you enough. And he said, I need you to get it right, but you can't do it without me. So I want to encourage you today, if you don't know him, that you ask him to come into your heart, that you ask him to forgive you, that you ask him to be, I want to say Lord, but be everything you need him to be in this hour, that you submit yourself to him so that he can begin to lead you. Don't sit in the corner no more crying, thinking nobody cares, thinking that it's the end of the world. Don't sit on the end of your bed crying because you don't have direction. He has all the direction you need. And the only thing he wants is for you to come and ask. So today, ask him to come into your heart. Ask him to show you the better part of you that you might live it out. And Father, we thank you this morning that more than anything, your love shows up. More than anything, those that desire to change will change. More than anything, those that feel like they have no hope will realize that there is hope. We thank you for your word that is still alive and well. We thank you that Adonai is still teaching your word and bringing your word and sculpture in our lives, that your word is more than meets the eye, that we understand the compatibility of your word with our lives, and that Ruach is there to teach us and guide us into all truth. May you seal your word in our lives. And Father, that you would forgive us if there's anything we've said, anything we've done that was not pleasing in your sight. If we said something out amiss, that you forgive us and that you continue to create in us a clean heart, renew a right spirit within us, that we would be all that you've called us to be. And for this, we give you praise. We thank you for today, that each and every person will have a good day. They would not allow their day to tell to that it would that they would succumb to their day, but that in that day and whatever's going on, they'll realize that they have a choice to either make it a good day or a bad day. And we just honor you today. Yeshua HaMashiach, we say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for loving us and having so much love within you that you are giving us a chance to the tree of life. And for this we praise and give you honor. In your precious name we pray. Amen and amen and amen. Well, bless you. May heaven smile upon you. May the grace of God, may the grace of Elohim carry you through. May the grace of Elohim continue to allow him to be who he wants to be in your life. Why? Because he doesn't know you. He knows you better than anybody. And just like a car, the manufacturer that manufactured that car knows how to make that car run. Have an amazing day and stay blessed. God bless you.